Welcome to Ninja's Garbage Guide for Basetanking Yakamaru. So just got done with jellies and we're going to gear up here for Yakamaru real quick. Didn't really use a whole lot during that BM kill, so I'm going to just keep everything up here that I already have. So once again, I'm bringing runes for debuffs, and I'm bringing overloads and some prayer stuff, even though I'm using penance. This is just a backup. I will not be using my noxious staff at all during this, so I'm just going to go ahead and wield these two things and deposit my noxious staff. For Yakamaru, you're going to want a lot more brews than you did for the BM kill. So the way that I run it is I always just keep 8 rocktails in my inventory. I fill the rest with brews, and then in my yak, I run about 10 brews or so, and the rest rocktail. And then the way that I do this is I space out these brews so that I get them at different intervals. Ideally, my first 2 rows will be pretty much all rocktails because I don't really need. I'll have enough rocktails in my inventory that by the time I first need to pull food out of my yak, I will have enough brews still. So basically the way my yak is set up is like this. So the first 8 things I pull out, or first 9 things I pull out, are going to be rocktails, and then after that I'll start getting a mixture of rocktails and brews, which is kind of nice. So also, same thing going back to my gear. I'm still wearing full primeval gear from raids. This is unlocked through doing raids, obviously, and let's see. I have an Amulet of Souls. I have the Attuned Crystal Wand because I'm a scrub and I can't afford a Seismic, and a Merciless Kite Shield, a Constitution Cape because I'm a scrub, and a Ring of Death, Penance Aura, and because I just used my Sign of Life at BM, I don't have one of those available, and I don't know if I have anything else available to bring. Let's see here. I might have an Aura, or I mean a Scrimshaw or something. Let's see. Fuck it. I don't even need a Scrimshaw. We're not going to bring any of that. This is garbage guide anyway. Alright, so going back to my tank bar for Yakamaru is the same as the one for BM. Oh, one thing I forgot is an Adren pot. I would like that. He's yelling at me to get full health, so we'll just quick eat a rocktail, go back to the bank, and we're going to pull out an adrenaline potion. I don't know where that is. Alright, so going back to my tanking bar, once again, this is the same tanking bar that I use for BM. It's fairly simple. The first 5 are revolution based. These will get used at whatever revolution uses them at. I do force preparation quite often, just so that it will reset my resonance every now and then when you have no other defensives to use. But otherwise, it's not that big of a deal. You can just let it activate on its own when it wants to. And then obviously, let's see, what else do I have? So I have Resonance on here. I have Devotion, Freedom, Barricade, Provoke, Reflect, and my food. On my secondary bar, I have my 2 debuffs, which are going to be Enfeeble and Vulnerability. One reduces damage by 10%, and one increases damage by 10%. And then Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate is one of your favorite abilities here at Yakamaru. It's basically like using an Enhanced Excalibur or something, but the Raid's armor will actually reset your Rejuvenate ability, so you can use this quite often and use it to heal up quite a bit. Really nice for saving food, and just something to do when you're at 100% and you don't want to use a barricade or something. So if you're watching this guide, you probably know how to do Yakamaru already, so I'm not going to go through the pools. But one thing to know is the base tank on the DPS pool, obviously you get the tentacles that come out. They hit rapid 2Ks, so you're going to want to make sure that Yakamaru is aggressive on you during that time, and also try to keep an eye out for the metamorphosis that happens to the DPS group, because 4 attacks after that is when the tentacles will happen. So also on Shark, I usually just try to keep a barricade available for Shark. If you don't have barricade available, you can run away just like anybody else and you'll be just fine. Sand Pool, one of the things you do not want to do on Sand Pool is use Immortality, because when you get dropped in the sand, Immortality will no longer work. So if you use that and expect to die and all of a sudden you get sanded, then you probably will die while you're in the sand and you will get fucked. And then stun pool, nothing special about stun pool. The only thing is sometimes the base tank is the one who's dedicated for stunning, but although sometimes it's somebody else on the team that's dedicated for stunning. This time I will not be stunning, so that's going to be somebody else's job. And then middle pool. Middle pool is the most dangerous one. This one will hit you twice as hard every time he comes back to the middle pool. When he's poisoned, he hits you twice as hard. So what you're going to see that I'm going to do is I'm going to try to keep a devotion or a barricade ready and available, so that when I come back to the middle pool, I will have that ready to go. Also, you'll see that I do not have dread nips because I'm a scrub, and that's why this is a garbage guide. So I rely on the rest of my team to drop out the dread nips for me. So we are taking one learner this trip, so they are going to be explaining to the learner about the pools and about what not to do and what to do. So we have a little bit before we're going to start here. A couple of things we'll talk about. Oh, hold on here. So one of the things we'll talk about when you start the pool, it's a great idea to have insight on during this, especially when you provoke, and sometimes he will get off of you, and provoke is on cooldown. Insight helps to kind of take him back to you. I don't use very many abilities off of my defensive tab here. The only one that I usually use is Immortality from time to time. There's plenty of kills that I do where I never use Immortality. People who are very, very good at base tanking Yakamaru, people who do no food kills, they use Immortality quite a bit because it is a very, very useful ability. It's just not something that I use a whole lot. Same thing with like Natural Instinct and that kind of stuff. I don't really use that stuff a whole lot. And Revenge. You know, I'm not here to do DPS. As far as I'm concerned, my role here is just to tank Yakamaru. So I'm not too overly concerned about DPS. There's a lot of people that will do some things like Revenge and switch to their offhands at certain times just to kind of help out the group. But I feel like we do just well enough without it. So when I first start the pool, the first thing that I want to do is voke him onto me. Every time Yakamaru is voked on the group, he's going to drench everybody. And when he drenches you, he increases the amount he can hit against you. So one of the things that you got to remember is that if he's voked onto me, there's like a 3x3 square around me that he's drenching. So if anybody happens to come and stand next to me, they're going to get drenched as often as I am. And that's obviously not something that we want. So I usually, if somebody does happen to come by me during a mirage or during something else, I usually yell at them and try to get them to get away from me so that they don't take as many drenches as I do. Especially during Mirage, you get drenched twice as fast, so it's definitely something that you want to be by yourself and be ready for it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start the pool and provoke him. I'm going to let him hit me a couple of the first times, just like I would for one of the pets at BM. I'm going to let him hit me a couple of times, and then like the fourth time he hits me, I'll res it and drop my prayer, and it should heal me back up to full from the first couple of times that he hit me. I don't resonance right away because after like the first 3 or 4 attacks, he will throw out a jellyfish, and it's very easy to mistime your resonance and to activate resonance, and then all of a sudden he will throw out a jellyfish, and then he doesn't hit you during that time. So that kind of sucks because you just wasted your resonance. Otherwise, freedom should be used off of cooldown every single time it's possible. The more you freedom, the less damage that you're going to take. So looks like we're getting ready to start here. My quick prayers are going to be set to protect from range and my tier 95. Alright, everybody's ready. We're going to pot up and prayer up, and we're going to get going here. So like I said, the first couple of attacks, I'm just going to let him attack me. I'm going to revoke him there real quick. So he started to drench me. I don't use my freedom until after my resonance, just because I feel like, I don't know why, it just happens to take off a little more, I feel like. Alright, so there's 3 attacks. There goes his jellyfish. Now I'm ready to resonance and drop my prayer. That heals me back up to full. I'm going to go ahead and devotion and freedom. So when his water soaked through you, that just means that his drenching is reaching a certain point. Like I said, looks like he's going over to maybe Shark Pool first. So we're going to evoke him back onto me. Hit him with a debilitate. And because I'm at full adrenaline, I'm just going to go ahead and use Rejuvenate right off the get-go here. The idea here is to try to build back up to 100% before he starts his sharks, because I'd like to barricade the sharks. I'm going to go ahead and use Freedom because it's off a cooldown. And after he hits me once or twice more, we'll do another Resonance. Alright, here we go with the Resonance, and we'll drop the Prayer. And he heals me back to full. Alright, he still hasn't had the tornado around him yet, so I'm going to go ahead and use Debilitate and Reflect, and I should have plenty of time to get back up to 100% Adren before he does his shark shit. I am lagging a little bit just because I'm on high detail. I forgot to take it off of high detail. So once this whole tornado thing disappears, obviously the sharks are going to come out. Now I just want to barricade, and I can just hang out here and relax. It's a great idea to barricade during that because when there's no nips on him, he attacks fairly quickly. So the idea there is that you want to be barricaded during those quick attacks. So you see there I resonanced and he wasn't able to get an attack off fast enough. So I quickly put my prayer back on. Also my drenches are at 4, so I need to Freedom more often. And we're going to go ahead and do Debilitate and Reflect. And even get in a Preparation there to get my resonance back faster. Alright, let's get our resonance going, drop our prayer, and hope he attacks me. I watch the timer on my resonance during that to see how close I am. Alright, poison is out. They're going for poison. Let's go ahead and Freedom and get ready for a barricade. And we're going to barricade now. All my defensives got reset there, which is really nice. So now I'm just going to get back up to 50% adrenaline so that when we go to this middle pool, I will have a devotion available. So we're going to go ahead and provoke him and use devotion. See there, my pathing was a little crappy. You can see that I got hit for a 3k mage hit. That was because I actually went MD of him. So it's not a good idea. I should have ran around Yakamaru to stay away from that MD. But now I'm going to go ahead and use Debilitate and Reflect and kind of stay away from this reflecting jelly over here just so I don't take too much melee damage. During this, your main source of food is going to be brews. Rocktails are more for panic eating and Mirage. So you'll see that the majority of my heals are coming from that. Also, because my defensive's reset, I have a Rejuvenate available, so we're going to go ahead and use that as well. And Freedom because it's off a cooldown. And that puts us back up to full health. So next pool that we'll be going to is Sand. Nothing really special about Sand. Just like I said, you don't want to use Immortality on Sand. Alright, here we go. Remember, first thing that you want to do is Voke the pool immediately. Just to try to get him off of the rest of the group, excuse me. And then once he gets on you, he will pretty much stay on you for the rest of the pool. Oh, looks like everybody's sanded. I'm one of the few people that are up, so I'm going to come over here. I'm going to free only 2 people and then immediately go back to what I was doing because the longer that I stand over there, the more drenches that they are going to get. And I don't want the rest of my team getting drenches. I want to keep all the drenches to myself. So free 2 people and then immediately come back. If you're not one of the people who are up, if you're one of the people who are sanded, you just got to kind of hang out and wait for everybody else to get to you. Let's try to get some debuffs off here. Can't seem to land them. So we'll hold off on that. Do a Resonance and a Freedom. And another Rejuvenate. There we go. First debuff is activated, and we'll go to second. Got both debuffs on. So once again, one debuff actually reduces the damage Yaka does by 10%. The other debuff increases the damage that Yaka takes by 10%. Alright, this time I am actually sanded, so now we're just going to wait for somebody to free. The entire team came to free me. That's always nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and freedom to get some of this enrage off of us. We're getting hit pretty hard here. And we need to overload because the overload has ran up. So you'll see there I resonance, but I wasn't able to actually get a res out of it. He did not attack me in time. So it's very, very important that you watch your resonance countdown there and make sure that if you get close to 2 or 1 seconds, that you put your prayer back on. Because if you don't put your prayer back on, Yaka is likely to hit you for like a 6k. And that can kill you, especially when you're somebody like me who tanks at very low health. Alright, so you can see that I don't have a barricade or devotion available here, so we're going to try to build up to 100% adren as quickly as possible. And barricade, I also could have used my adren pot, but it looks like I got up to it pretty quickly there, so it wasn't a big problem. You also can use preparation during barricade to get your resonance back faster. And because freedom is off cooldown, we're going to use that as well. I'm going to cycle debilitate and reflect. Another reason I like to use the two together is because a lot of times, especially with tier 85, and when you're constantly using bruise, which drops your stats, what happens a lot of times is your debilitate won't hit, and so you don't want to rely on that. You don't want to rely on your debilitate hitting and then have it not happen. So that's why I also use it with reflect. All right, here we go. Moving on to stun pool. Once again, I'm going to immediately evoke it. I am not the designated stunner this time, so we're just going to sit here and rotate through defensive abilities. Remember too, every time you move to a pool, Yaka is going to attack a little bit faster than normal, only because, and you can see that somebody on my team here just healed me, which that's pretty nice. But every time you move to a new pool, his attacks are going to be faster because there's no dread nips on him yet. So you got to be ready for that. It's a good idea to either devotion or barricade or use rejuvenate as you're moving from pool to pool, just so you have that little bit of extra to help you out. And remember, you do have rocktails too for panic eating, but otherwise most of the time I just sit here and sip on bruise for the majority of the fight. We have a devotion available, so we're going to use that. And he's probably going to be stunning again here soon. Once devotion is up, I'm going to go ahead and res and drop my prayer. Give me a decent hit there. Go ahead and freedom and devotion. See, there I should not have used devotion because we are actually getting ready to go back to the middle pool. So I'm just going to save my barricade for when that happens. We'll use a resonance here. Come on, I get one more hit in. Okay, so I'm going to need to hit him at least once before I have my barricade available. And here we go with the barricade. So that was kind of crappy timing. You see he dropped me pretty much half health just from missing that. Like I said, he does hit extremely high when you get back, when he's green like this, when he's poisoned. You also have to be very careful with your resonances here because what will happen, I don't tend to drop my prayers for resonances on this middle pool because what happens is if this reflecting jellyfish or even that ranged jellyfish there can actually attack you from a distance and take off your resonance, and then obviously Yakamaru will hit you for like a 6k because your prayers dropped. Alright, so there's a nice little jellyfish over here by me. I'm just going to take the damage from it just to help out the team. And we're going to get over here and provoke him. Get out of the group here. Now remember, once Metamorphosis comes out, 4 attacks after that is when he's going to do his little tentacle thing. So I haven't seen a Metamorphosis yet, but it might have already happened. It did. There's the tentacles. I'm just going to run away from it. A lot of people will have a barricade ready for that. I obviously did not have it this time, but if we get it again, I'll probably have it available for next time. Otherwise, you just run away from it. Honestly, just look where the tentacles come up, eat a rocktail, and run away. And really, it's only going to hit you for about 4K, and you should have more health than 4K pretty much all the time. So, see there, once again, he did not hit me in time for my resonance, so I quickly put my prayer back up, because the last thing that I want to do is get caught with my prayer down and get a hit. We're also going to try to get a... We're getting hit pretty hard here. There we go. Had to get a freedom off there. It's time for some debuffs. So let's see if we can get those on. There's the first debuff. Wasn't able to land the second yet. Oh, did not see that coming. Was looking at my debuff bar. But once again, like I said, I mean, it's fairly easy just to run away from that, you know? I mean, you don't have to have a barricade ready for it. I was not watching for Metamorphosis in the group here, so I wasn't ready for that to come out. But if you just keep an eye on your character and just run away from him when that happens. So you can see, one of the things I forgot to mention is that when you're devotioned, the number that you get hit, that's the number of stacks that you have against you. So the higher that number is, the higher you're going to be getting hit when devotion is not active. So like right there, 4 is the most you can get hit. When I see a high number there and I realize that I haven't freedomed, I obviously know that at that point it's time to freedom. Because once I get out of that, he's going to be hitting me fairly hard. So we're going to build up to 50% adren here. I don't have it, so we're going to overload an adren pot. And we're going to get a devotion off for this pool. So this is pre-Mirage. I'm at 4 stacks right now. I just freed him down to 2. Ideally, you're going to want to even be lower than that. So we're going to... Oh, apparently they missed the poison. So we're going to redo this pool real quick. Drop my prayer for a res. This time I'll try to keep an eye out for when the Metamorphosis comes so that I can have a barricade available for the thing that follows it. Also, when Yakamaru does his Metamorphosis attack, he kind of sticks his head up in the air and like that. So he just Metamorphosis there. So 4 attacks after that is when I'm going to want to be barricaded. So there was 1. There was 2. We're going to res this real quick. Maybe. Okay, he's not going to... He did hit me. Okay. That was 3. And that was 4. So now I just want to barricade. And as long as I barricade it at the right time, when he uses this little tentacle pool thing, it won't even touch me. We're going to go ahead and free him to get some of this enrage off of us because he is hitting us way too high. I've not been doing a good job on keeping up on my freedoms. And let's get some more debuffs going for the team. There's the damage one. And here comes increased damage. Nope, I missed it. Let's get a resonance here. And he jellyfished. If he jellyfish, that takes the place of his attack, so he's not going to hit you if you tried to resonance. So just go ahead and put your prayer back on. Sometimes when I'm just not paying attention, that happens. So let's get another freedom going. And I've not been paying attention for the Metamorphosis, so I'll probably be getting the other... Oh, there's the Metamorphosis there. So we have 4 attacks incoming. That was 1, that's 2, 3. I don't know if the jellyfish counts as an attack or not. 4, we'll just go with it. We're going to barricade now. And there it was. So once again, just pay attention to when he throws his head up in the air and when somebody gets Metamorphosis. When that happens, 4 attacks after that is when you want to have a barricade available. Alright, so we're going to provoke him. Once again, I don't have a devotion available. Oh, there it goes. I just got reset, so we'll just go ahead and devotion real quick. I'm going to try to stay away from this jellyfish, let the team deal with that. Build up to 100% adren. We'll freedom again too since we got that reset. And I think I'm just going to use a rejuvenate rather than a barricade because I was at like half health. We use preparation to try to get my resonance back faster, and now we're going to fire off a debilitate and reflect. You'll notice that the majority of my debilitates have not hit, which is really disappointing because it does help, but you got to be able to do it without it hitting. So we're going into pre-mirage here. It's a good idea to have full health, and we're going to DPS pool first. It's very, very important that you can count on your team during this. Oh, looks like I wasn't able to get him, and my provoke is on cooldown. Let's hope I get him back here. Alright, good. The last thing you want is for him to throw his tentacle pool into the middle of the DPS pile. If that happens, chances are somebody's going to die. Let's go ahead and devotion here, and we're going to go ahead and MD. He died a lot quicker than I thought he would. Alright, so now we're going to run a little bit to the northwest, or northeast, I'm sorry, of Shark to try to get him away from everybody else. And I do have a devotion available, so we're going to go ahead and use that. It is very important that you use Freedom off of cooldown every single time during Mirage, because he does drench you much, much faster. And also you can see that because there's not nearly as many nips on him, he also attacks much, much faster. Alright, so Plankers are going to MD on him. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the next pool and take that. We'll start off with the barricade until my Freedom is available. And we're sanded. And somebody got me up. Awesome. Alright, so let's get Freedom going here. And try to build some Adren back up. See, this guy needs to stay away from me. He doesn't realize that he's going to get drenched twice as often if he's standing next to me. So you want to try to stay away from the rest of the team. But I also don't want to get too close to this other pool here, because chances are I'll start getting attacked by both pools. So we're going to MD here, fill the sand on this, and go ahead and take this pool over. Every time I move pools, all I'm doing is revoking that pool. So once again there, my pathing was a little crappy. I ended up getting too close, and I got hit for a mage hit because I was MD. I don't know if this guy is going to stun, and looks like we're not going to need it anyway. So Plankers are going to MD there. I'm going to move on to middle pool. Once again, Voke middle pool immediately. I'm just going to get a quick res here, and because we're at the end of the kill, I'll just barricade and we'll finish it out. So like I said, I'm not a pro. I just happen to be able to do what I'm doing. So thank you for watching Ninjahatchet's garbage guide to tanking Yakamaru. Mr. Soaker there got a nice drop. Let's see what I got. And I got nothing. And I don't have rerolls on this account. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, PM me in-game. RSN is Ninjahatchet, or I'm usually on my Iron Man on thechatninja. So thanks, guys. Have a great day.